No way. Millions know her simply as Soraya, the talented singer-songwriter, popular with legions of Hispanic and Latino fans.
My uncle was playing these Colombian songs, these typical Colombian songs, and I just fell in love. I was hypnotized, mesmerized by his voice, by his dad's voice, by the harmonies and everything. I asked my dad for a guitar and started playing. I'm self-taught guitarist. Then I studied classical violin. That I did learn. And just started songwriting. Once I discovered poetry, there was no turning back. I knew that I could put two worlds together.
What most fans never knew was that some of Soraya's music was inspired by personal tragedy in her own life. Soraya had lost her aunt, grandmother, and her mother, all to breast cancer.
I made it a point to go to the doctor's visits with my mom. I made it a point to do some research with her. I made it a point to go to the Race for the Cures and to be proactive in those sort of things.
Yet Soraya's awareness was not typical for the Hispanic and Latino community.
My parents are from Colombia, but my mom didn't grow up with Race for the Cures. She didn't grow up with pink ribbons. She didn't grow up with commercials on TV from a car dealership reminding you to go get a mammogram.
In fact, only about 40% of Hispanic and Latino women have regular mammograms. And doctors think this may explain the poor survival rate in this community.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of death among Hispanic women within the area of cancer. And it's an area that we're very concerned about. Hispanic women are coming in at a much later stage when they are diagnosed with breast cancer. They put off coming in for early detection and screening. And so when they do come in at this later stage, the tumors are much larger and are very difficult to treat.
Then Soraya found a lump in her breast during a breast self-exam. Like the women in her family, she had breast cancer.
I was only 1 week into the promotion of the record, so that was a big shock for my career professionally. But really, the career didn't matter at that point. It was just getting through it, figuring out what I had to do, how to stay focused, how to stay strong, where to pull that strength from.
Soraya made the difficult decision to go public with her disease, and it wasn't long before she became a new voice in breast cancer activism for her community.
Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you. A la vida.
We need great public figures, to come out and give the message and say, don't be afraid. You can come in for screening. You can combat cancer if you're diagnosed with it. We really need that positive message. It hasn't gotten out there. Right now, the stigma is, if I have cancer, I'm going to die. And so, therefore, I'd rather not know it. One of the major obstacles to getting our Latino women to come in for screening is really education and helping them understand the importance of coming in for screening.
I said, okay, you want my interview? Fine. I'll give you an interview, but you have to print information for those women that are reading it, because they're going to have questions. And don't make them search anymore. And the press just was incredible. They were wanting to talk about it and just haven't been able to.
Women also needed to be informed about the realities of a mammogram.
And we'll compress your breast to whereas we're compressing the muscle as well as the lymph nodes. Okay? All right.
Some women have said it's like a tortilla press. Just put my breast in there and just squeeze it. And so they have some misinterpretation of what it is. And so some of the educational programs that we're trying to do is this, it might hurt for a few seconds, but it's worth a lifetime.
Long-held cultural beliefs also keep women from seeing their doctors.
It's so complicated. You have social reasons. Breasts are maternal, they're sexual, you don't talk about things like that. It's not easy to talk to a doctor about these issues. It's very private. It's something you do at home.
Sometimes they've been brought up with a culture that you can't touch yourself, and so therefore they're less likely to do the breast self-exam. They're also, if they don't have a same-sex physician to do the clinical breast exam, oftentimes they are reluctant to have it done.
Another factor in Latino and Hispanic attitudes towards breast cancer has involved lack of financial resources.
We don't have the health insurance in place. They can't afford it. They're busy putting food on the table.
We need women like Soraya who have just a great message to tell, Hispanic women, young women in particular, because everybody is frightened about coming in and being screened for cancer. And we need to get beyond that, that we need to say this is a household word. You can talk about it to your mother, your aunts, your sisters, and get everybody to come in for screening.
We have to educate in a non-confrontational way. We have to educate according to the culture.
Thank the Lord, I know